Hello, hello and welcome back to day 2 of the WFTGA mini virtual conference. Warm greetings to all our colleagues and friends worldwide. Good to see you again, wherever you are. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. For any newcomers, there may be a warm welcome to the WFTGA family. Being here, you already know the World Federation of Tourist Guides Associations, top of the screen, is the Global Forum for Professional Tourist Guides. I'm Viola, as you can read, and today I'm acting at the bookends for our session. So you will only see me at the beginning and then again right at the end. But don't judge a book by its cover. We have a great session lined up for you. Content matters, and really content I'm sure a lot of you are looking forward to. But first, let me look back to yesterday. Yesterday was our day, International Tourist Guide Day. And if you weren't able to join us for our virtual mini conference yesterday, not to worry. It's all recorded and you can watch it at your own time and in your own space. And by the way, lovely to see all the messages coming in. Good afternoon, Lisbon, and so on. So good to have you again. Yeah, so as I say, watch the recordings because it was fascinating again. We had 3 expert speakers, one from UNWTO, who told us really in no uncertain terms to be inclusive, to embrace the young generation of tourist guides. Then we had Professor Valerie Higgins, who appealed to us tourist guides to help with the future challenges of sustainable tourism. And then also our good friend, Professor Karen Harris, who encouraged us, inspired us to think outside the box. So today's topic is conventions, and you already see there are quite a couple of links from our speakers yesterday, maybe to previous conventions, but also to future conventions. And then, of course, not to forget yesterday, we had live crossovers and recordings from you, dear colleagues, the tourist guides around the world. And at that point, a thank you to Sebastian, our man behind the scenes, who is working very, very hard to connect it all and makes it happen. So that was yesterday. Today, as I say, another exciting program lined up. The International Tourist Guide Day is only one of our big legacies. If we come to think of it, the other big legacy are our conventions. The WFTGA conventions will take place every 2 years. And today, the curtain will be opened and we will find out more about the 2024 WFTGA convention hosted by our colleagues in Siracusa, Sicily, Italy. Yeah, the program for today in a nutshell will be first, President Emeritus Ros Newlands will shortly set the background and look at the history of our conventions. And she will actually mention the volunteer student guides who help in the background of conventions. Well, for me, that was the 10th convention in 2003 in Scotland when I was one of those backroom volunteers. And I don't want to say caught the bug. Let's not think about a pandemic, but I really have been attending any convention I could ever since. And I'm certainly looking forward to the next one. So Ros will set the scene of the convention, and then our very own current president, Alushca, will introduce us to the people who will make it happen next year, to the host team, the host city, the host country. And again, together with Sebastian, they have got quite an exciting afternoon prepared for us. And then I'm sure thereafter you will all run off and you will book your trains, planes, or saddle your horses to go to Sicily. But stick with us because the last hour of today is for you. Again, it will be a social hour, informal chat. There will be a couple of breakout rooms and hosted by my colleagues of the executive board of the Expo. And there we can again talk about topics that interest us and also, look forward to the convention, really make it happen. Yeah, so with that further ado, I will now hand over to Ros shortly, and I will be back at the end, your bookend, just before the breakout rooms. I should say Ros actually can't be with us here today live, but there she is on the screen already. We have a recording of her memories and tips and hints. And with Sebastian's help, over to Ros. Enjoy.
Or whatever time of day it is, wherever you're listening from. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to talk to you today about the WFTGA conventions. I hope that you all had a wonderful International Tourist Guide Day yesterday, however you were celebrating, and perhaps some of you are celebrating in the next few days as well. The WFTGA conventions have, of course, been the highlight of membership since 1985, when WFTGA was founded. And the first convention took place in Israel, and at that convention WFTGA was formed. But the first real convention, I suppose, was in Austria, in Vienna, in 1987. And since then, conventions have been held all over the world, in every continent. For me personally, the first convention that I attended was 2001 in Cyprus. And that was because I had the great honour of bidding to host the 2003 convention, so 20 years ago, in Scotland, where I come from. It was an amazing experience to attend that first convention. I'd known all about WFTGA because the first elected president was Jane Ord, who was also from Scotland. And she was very keen that Scotland, her home country, hosted a convention at some point. So I made the bid, and we were fortunate enough to be selected to host the 2003 convention. One of the things that Alushca asked me to talk about was the effect of hosting a convention on a Tourist Guides Association. And I have to say that for Scotland, it was a mixture of, I suppose, almost fear to start with, and then, of course, a wonderful experience. What we did was we formed a separate committee to run the convention in Scotland, and that committee consisted of 8 people. And I was in charge of the educational programme because at that time I was the Scottish Tourist Guides Association's training manager and course director. But we all worked very closely together. It's very important that if you are thinking of hosting a convention, that you find a way of ensuring that your association is not in any way financially jeopardized by the hosting, because you've got to think about all your members. The way that we got around it was by setting up a separate company, but that wouldn't necessarily work for every country. Perhaps it's a bit more about having some sort of insurance for your association. You also have to take your members with you, all of them, or as many of them as possible, and to form a good big team beyond your basic committee of people who will help with the convention. And we had a large number of volunteers, full members, and also student guides, because our student guides, of course, were very enthusiastic and keen to get involved. Sponsorship is extremely important, and how you get that sponsorship depends on your circumstances in your own country. But I think the main point is that it's really important to break it down into small chunks. So instead of asking someone for thousands of pounds, or in our case it was pounds, or euros, or whatever your currency is, you ask them for small amounts. You ask them to sponsor a breakfast or a lunch, or you try and get free entry into your main attractions, the places that you go to all the time as guides. perhaps for all the participants, or perhaps for some of them. It just depends what people can afford to give you. And you do it in kind as well as in cash. But when you come about setting up your budget, you include what it would have cost in your budget. Budgeting, again, is extremely important. It's important not to underprice your convention. You can always reduce the price later if you get more sponsorship, but what you can't do is increase the price once you've said what it's going to be. When you're hosting the convention, when everybody actually turns up and it's really, really exciting, then of course you need all your volunteers in place and you're all ready to welcome your colleagues. At that point, you will of course have your program, and it'll be in huge detail, and you'll be ready and waiting for your colleagues from all over the world. If you have other associations in your country that you can get involved in some way or another, that's really good. In our case, we had the pre-tour organised by our colleagues in England, because the Guild of Tourist Guides in England and the Association of Professional Tourist Guides in London, who are also members of WFTGA, they helped by hosting or organising the pre-tour, and basically bringing them up to Scotland, where at the border they handed over their guide, handed over to our guide. I must say, we pretended to throw her off the bus, but we weren't really going to do that. But that was, you can only guide in a place that you're qualified, so they weren't getting over the border. But that was just for a bit of fun. Because we had been fortunate enough to get really good sponsorship, we were able to add on later to for example, our gala dinner. After the convention, it definitely hugely raised the profile of the Scottish Tourist Guides Association and enabled us to become heavily involved in all sorts of tourism activities in Scotland, that in particularly during lockdown we benefited hugely because we were heavily involved, and it helped us to get money for our members and also for our association at a time of crisis, because we had become a serious partner in the tourism industry. After I was elected president of WFTGA in 2007, I became more and more involved in the conventions after that. I had actually been involved in the 2007 convention in Egypt to a certain extent, and I'd helped our then president Ruby Roy with the convention in 2005 in Australia. But 2007 onwards, so from 2009, obviously I was heavily involved, and I have to say that during the next 6 years when I was president, the conventions that worked the best were the ones who had the most participation from their own members, and that they kept control of their convention, with of course the support of their governments and tourist boards, etc. But it was very much a guide convention. It wasn't, a tourist board convention. So that was important as well. Hosting a convention is a wonderful experience for any association. It allows you to, as I said, raise your profile within your home country, to have the opportunity to welcome your colleagues from all over the world, and to showcase the best of your country and your association. And of course, making sure that all the guides who are involved guiding their colleagues, because it's a bit scary to guide your colleagues, are perhaps specially briefed, and make sure that they are all comfortable with what you're asking them to do. Finding the strengths of any of your members so that they can, if they're good at finance, get them involved in finance. If they're good at PR, get them involved in that. Trying to find out, because most tourist guides have had other jobs at some point in their lives, and therefore are in position to help and to bring the skills beyond tourist guiding skills to this huge event, which is so exciting to run. I'm so looking forward to attending our next convention, our next full convention in Syracuse in 2024, and that will of course be our 20th convention, and the Scottish one was the 10th. So it's 10 years, well, 20 years on, in fact, that it's actually happening. And to be able to be involved in that is going to be so much fun. And I'm looking forward to meeting as many of you as possible, either face to face or perhaps in a hybrid way at that convention. So good luck, whether you're intending to come to Syracuse. Obviously looking forward to that, looking forward to seeing you. And if you're thinking about it, do come, because it's a wonderful experience to attend a convention. And if you are seriously thinking about hosting, then good luck, go for it, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the experience, even though it might be slightly daunting to start with, but it's so very much worth it.
Great. So thank you so much to Ros for taking the time to put together that information for us. I think listening to some of the history and the background and the valuable advice is absolutely crucial to understand what goes into a convention. But since our very first convention, our conventions have evolved considerably. We've had different challenges, we've got new needs, life has evolved. Conventions also serve a purpose of networking and meeting guides from across the world. And as you know, we as tourist guides are of the tangible environment, which is absolutely important. Our last convention was a slightly unconventional convention. It was our first hybrid meeting, which was held in Madrid in 2022. And obviously we missed many of our colleagues, and we hope to see you in person in Italy. But that was an adventure for all of us, the hybrid aspect, and that is something we will introduce as well in Italy with parts of the program. Obviously, to come in person is the ideal opportunity for you to meet the colleagues and experience the program, and this is what you will be seeing today. The journey of our hosts for 2024 has been an interesting one. Initially, it started with the bidding process, and we had an overwhelming response from bidding countries and our member associations. That actually led to an elimination round, and you may wonder, but why? And I think once you've gone through the bidding process, and Ros highlighted this quite well as well, you realize that a lot of volunteers volunteer their time, and there's a lot of resources involved in preparing for a bid. And taking part in the bid process. So the elimination round basically put down to the top 4 countries, and this was voted on by the delegates. Those 4 countries then came through to Madrid and did their final presentation. And leading up to this, they all had the opportunity virtually to also present and lobby and showcase their destination and the host local tourist guides. In Madrid, at this hybrid convention, our unconventional convention, we had the 4 countries bid, and we are so proud of them and their participation and their eagerness. And as a reminder, we had Japan, KITG, we had Turkey, TKTZ, Malaysia, Sabah, and of course, Italy, ANGT. I think one must remember that you don't always win a bid the first time, and Italy actually had bid before. In 2019 at our convention in Italy. And this is where we also met their mayor, and their mayor has been very supportive of their bid and of the tourist guiding sector, which is absolutely amazing. So he also came through virtually to Madrid and assisted the Italian team in bidding. So I think Andrea has joined us now as well on screen. And Andrea, if you think back to Tbilisi, following all the hard work put into the bid and then coming back again in Madrid, how excited were you when you won the bid in Madrid? Just unmute, Andrea.
Sorry. Now I hope you can hear me. Yes, of course, we were very excited when we won the second time. No need to say that we were slightly disappointed when we lost it, but as you said, you can bid more than once and there is always a chance. So we're happy that we're going to host the next convention in Sicily, And as you just
I think we lost you on your sound, Andrea. But I think with that, I see the team has joined as well.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can hear you.
So I was
Yes.
just saying that the city mayor of Siracusa, Francesco Italia, was instrumental in our winning the bid. And therefore he is, and then can I say he's a very good looking gentleman?
Yes, we met him in person, great.
Yes, and in person. So he's not going to be with us in person today. And but he has prepared a video, and what I saw of the video, because obviously I saw it before, is, and this is what you will experience when you come to Sicily, the beautiful clear sky in the background in the mid of January. So
yes,
a sunny land with a blue sky, and I'm sure it's going to be great.
yes, and when Sebastian and I were actually there in January, exactly a year ahead of time, we also experienced the beautiful sunny weather. I was wearing light clothing. It was absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to leave it to you, Andrea. You can go over and introduce your team, and let's move forward with your wonderful presentation.
Okay, so as you just said, I'm Andrea. I think that a lot of people who are attending now have already seen me. Probably they're also fed up of seeing me, because I could be displayed in an archaeological museum because I've been the delegate for Italy for ages now. What I would like to do is to introduce the members of the team, the people I've been working with since 2017, which was when we bid for the first time in Tbilisi in Georgia. And I must say that I've attended many conventions. It's always been great to be with colleagues from all over the world, to share professional experiences, and of course to visit beautiful countries. But now I'm backstage, so I'm working on the organizing committee, and I must say that it's energy consuming because we've done a lot of meetings, but it's also very challenging. And I do hope that you will all be happy once you've come and decided to sign up for the convention, and that will be rewarding, because I can tell you that we've been putting a lot of energy in this, and we know how challenging the next months will be. As I said, I would like to introduce the team, but the first person I would like to introduce is not here in person. That is Francesco Italia, the good-looking city mayor of Siracusa. Pardon me for that. And he has recorded a video, which Sebastian will show you in a second.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Francesco Italia and I'm the mayor of Siracusa. I'm extremely happy and proud to be the host of the 20th WFTGA Convention that will be held in Siracusa next January 2024. I already met many of you, and pretty likely some of you would remember when I used to say life is easy in Tbilisi, but if you vote for Siracusa you're going to get amused. And along with the local president of the Tourist Guide Association, Carlo Castello, we're working very hard to make it real and to make your convention, our convention, the most memorable and enjoyable possible. Not only, we're also working to make it sustainable, so if you're planning to come to Siracusa with your children, we will take care of them in our local nursery schools. Also, since most of the venues that you will be host in, like the Old City Theater, the local Old Market, are in Ortigia, which is the historical city center of Siracusa, will provide you with transportation service so that you will get easily to the historical center. As you may be aware of, Siracusa is one of the oldest cities in Italy. We have more than 2,750 years of history. We're in Sicily, in the Mediterranean basin, in the center, in the middle of the Mediterranean basin. We have a beautiful heritage over the years and the history. Many different cultures and civilizations have meld together, have encountered, and the results, as you can see, are amazing. So having said that, I'm really longing to welcome you to Siracusa. See you in January. Bye bye.
Okay, so I think you appreciated the tape of Francesco Italia, and you did see in the background ancient ruins plus this beautiful blue sky, and that is what you will be looking forward to seeing in real when you get to Siracusa. Now I would just like to introduce another important member of the team, and he's not here in person, and he is Carlo Castello. Carlo Castello is at the same time the president of the local association of guides of Siracusa, but he's also been for ages the treasurer of the Italian National Association. So in other words, he's the one who holds the purse. He has a lot of hidden talents, and I think that the next video will prove you that one of his hidden talents is, well, I'm not going to spoil the surprise, so let's wait to see the video.
One moment, the technique needs 2 more seconds.
2 more seconds.
I think his hidden talent was a nice surprise for us when we were doing the site inspections, and we were pleasantly surprised, put it that way.
Che bella cosa è una giornata sole, l'aria serena dopo una tempesta e l'aria fresca. Che bella cosa è una giornata sole. Bravo!
So he's very entertaining, as you have seen, and if his wife hasn't divorced, it means that she really loves him. He didn't know that we were going to put it live. So anyway, thanks to Carlo for this. And now, before I would like to introduce another member of the team. The team is made up by several people, and in this case, we're talking about Michela Ceccarini. She is on the board of Italy's National Association, but at the same time, she is the president of the local association of guides in Genoa. And she has been coordinating, I think, since 2013, if I'm not mistaken, the events for the International Tourist Guide Day. You can see her photograph here, but she's here in person. And I'm just leaving the floor to her for a quick hello.
Yes, a quick hello. I'm very happy to be here with you today, and also to I'm here also on behalf of the board of ANGT, and I bring the greetings of our president, Anna Bigai. As you were saying, Andrea, I've been coordinating the International Tourist Guide Day in Italy for more than 10 years. It's 11 years now. And so we like to work together and choose couple of days when everybody, every town in Italy present their itineraries and visits. And I must say, Sicily is always on top. This year, it's one of the 2 regions with more proposals. And Carlo works fantastically for the International Tourist Guide Day. Almost every year, their visits reach the top number of participants. So they can really create events which involve the whole city and a great part of the population. Thousands of people participate to their visits for the International Tourist Guide Day. They are fantastic in this. And well, I love Sicily. I love Siracusa, and I'm really very happy that you will see spots of the city in the videos today. And thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Michela. And now I would like to just introduce a few more members of the team. You know that, as Ros was saying, the organization of a convention is very complex, and therefore we, as a national and local association, have decided to have a PCO, which is a professional convention organizer that is organizing and taking care of all the logistics. So we are strongly supported by them. On the team, we have several people. One is Nicoletta, then there is Constanza. Of course, behind the scenes, there is Patrizia. But last but not least, we have Valeria. I think that I got in touch with Valeria in 2016, something like that, ages ago. So I consider her now a friend. We've been in touch several times, and then we met each other, and we've been talking and about the future convention, when we lost a bit and then when we won it. And she is, can I say, the person who puts all the pieces of the puzzle together. And she's a wonderful coordinator, very calm, and she's a diplomat, which I am not. So she's the person, let's say, the most important person on the team. And I would like to leave the floor to her, because she's going to get into detail about the program of the convention. I think you all know the dates. I can see that here on the slide shows the names of the people who are involved. And yeah, we've already moved to the second slide, where we have the early bird registration opening, which will be on the 31st. As you know, the dates of the convention are from, the main convention will be from January 21 to January 26 with the closing ceremony. And there is, as usual, a pre-tour and a post-tour. And they're going to be wonderful experiences, as, of course, the main convention. And therefore, I think you should save the date from January 18 to January 29. As you can see here, we have the early bird registration, but I think that this is something that Valeria can get into detail about, because she's going to talk about the program and what, as a PCO, they have organized for all of us. Valeria?
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet you again. I'm excited to present the work. Thank you, Andrea, for the presentation. I don't know if I deserve this wording, but by the way, we are ready to share the work we have done so far, and a lot will be done in the next months. We thank all the delegates for voting for us, and all the participants that will come. And a big thank goes to Alushca, because a lot of work has been done together since we have won the candidacy in Madrid last year. So there is a lot of work behind. So Alushca and Sebastian were a really important part to arrive to this point. So as Andrea said, I mean, if we can go back to the other slide, I will be presenting you the fees. We will have the deadline, I mean, the opening of the early bird registration on March 31st. And from that moment on, we will have 150 early bird registration rates available. It means that the first come, first will be served with discounted rates. It will be 150 early bird registrations available or until the 31st of May. This will be the latest deadline to register with the early bird fees. And then we will open from that moment on the regular registration, and until December 20th, there will be the possibility to register with the regular registration fees. And it will be the moment to register also, I mean, it will be the deadline also to register for the virtual participation. Nevertheless, for those who are willing to attend, even if they didn't have time or the possibility to register until the deadline of the regular registration, we will have the possibility also to register on site. So in case someone prefers to register on site, this will also be possible. The convention will be divided into pre-convention tour, main convention, and post-convention tour, starting with the pre-convention tour from the 18th of January until the 21st, and then the main convention program from the 21st until the 26th of January, and then the post-convention tour from Friday 26th to Monday 29th. So it means that if you're planning your stay in Italy, you should consider to stay with us from the 18th to the 29th, if you can, if you have the time, for sure.
Valeria, can I jump in quickly and just have a question? So the pre-convention tour actually will start on the early morning of the 19th. So just arrival date would be the 18th. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Thanks, Alushca, for pointing it out, because as we will see now in the next slide, the pre-convention tour will... Costanza, can you please move it? Okay, you will see it. Okay, now you see it. The pre-convention tour will be really exciting, and you will have the chance to experience also the Etna Mount. And this is an experience that needs to be done in the first part of the day. This is why we decided to add one night to the pre-convention tour package, because all the delegates will have the possibility to enjoy the pre-convention tour at the fullest. So it will be the 18th arrival day and the 19th, the first pre-convention tour day. So thanks, Alushca, for asking. So as you can see in the map, the pre-convention tour will start from Catania. So the arrivals for the pre-convention will need to be in Catania Airport, which is the closest to Siracusa. That means the city of the main convention, and Catania will be the starting point for the pre-tour. The pre-tour will touch the amazing Etna Mount. Then you will have the chance to experience the fantastic city of Taormina, which is a unique site, and then going back to Catania and then experience the fantastic city of Catania.
Valeria, and sorry to interrupt. So just to be sure we're looking at the map correctly, Catania is on the east coast where the blue letter B is. That's
exactly
the arrival city. Great.
Exactly.
And
it's on the right
yellow,
side.
Great. And then the yellow dots are marking where we will be for the pre-tour. Is that correct?
Exactly. That's correct. So, and the blue dot shows where the airport is located. With the B, I don't know if you can really see it on the screen. And then after the pre-convention tour, we will go to Siracusa. So it means that the guest arriving from the pre-tour will be driven directly to Siracusa to start with the main convention program. For those who are not enjoying the pre-convention tour, the main airport to arrive will be anyway Catania. As you said, the dot here on the right side of the map, the blue dot on the right side of the map. And then the main convention venue will be Siracusa. Here is the yellow dot on the right side. Then we have the regional tour that will be here in Noto, where you see the orange dot. And then after the main convention on the 26th, we will go with the post-convention tour, and the post-convention tour will be leaving from Siracusa and moving to the northwestern part of the region, touching Ragusa, Modica, Piazza Armerina, Agrigento, Selinunte, Segesta, and it will end in Palermo. Palermo, it's the capital of Sicily, and as you see, the blue dot on the left-hand side on the corner, it's the Palermo airport. So that's the reason why the post-convention tour will end in Palermo. It means that we suggest to arrive in Catania, either if you join the pre-convention tour or directly the convention, and the best will leave to fly out from Palermo. In case someone has any special requests or for any particular reasons needs to go back to Catania, of course, we will be willing to help and to assist. So you are always very welcome to email us at the address that we will display soon, and we will be assisting you.
Valeria, and I just have a question. The distance between Palermo and Catania by road, approximately how long does it take?
It's about 3 to 3.5 hours drive.
Okay,
that's why
and then from Catania to Siracusa, approximately how long drive is that?
It's approximately 45 minutes.
Okay,
45
great.
minutes to an hour.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. So to experience Sicily at the fullest with a professional and engaging itinerary, we suggest you to subscribe for the whole program from the pre-convention to the post-convention tour, and it will be full of surprises and will be prepared by professionals for professionals. So we really believe it will be engaging. Then the host city, as we mentioned many times, will be Siracusa. So in Siracusa, we have to you have to imagine, we had to imagine a different convention, because Siracusa, it's a really historical city. And as you can see from the shape in the map, you see here the yellow dot, it's the city of Siracusa, but the city of Siracusa includes also this island, and it's the island of Ortigia. The island of Ortigia is the historical heart of Siracusa. It's connected just with a little bridge that you can see here. And actually the historical part, the Ortigia part, will be our hotel convention, I mean, in full. It means that we have the main venues, the Municipal Theatre and Palazzo Vermexio, that were, I mean, really important sites for the city, and they opened the door for us for the WFTGA, thanks to the cooperation we had with the mayor, and they are really next door. They will be the main convention venues. It means that even if we don't have a main hotel, we will have several hotels, as you can see, with different categories in the city, in the historical city, and with small distance, you can walk easily to the main venue. Nevertheless, as also the mayor mentioned, there will be also the possibility to have transportation inside the island of Ortigia, because this will be made available by the municipality for the convention. So you will find all the, yes.
And may I jump in, because Valeria, I think we never had ever a convention organized like that one, that we had not one main hotel and one main venue where everybody stays in. And when we had been there during the site inspection, I really liked the new format. This is this sustainability format. You live with the locals together. In the morning, you have coffee with the locals. Then you walk to the venue, you're separated in hotels and have the feeling that you live with Italian families and with locals. I really loved that. That was a great idea.
I agree, Sebastian. I think when we were walking through the city, it also gives you an opportunity to appreciate the architecture, because you're not just whizzing by in a car, you're actually walking, you're appreciating the architecture, you can hear the locals talking. That experience is so unique and different, and I'm looking forward to that part, actually.
Thank you. Thank you. Really, Siracusa is waiting for the convention to come. They're all excited. So I think it will be an amazing experience.
Can I add to wear walking shoes, comfortable and not high heels, because you keep the high heel shoes just for the gala dinner and for very special occasions, but otherwise just dress up comfortably and wear comfortable shoes. Although, as the city mayor said, there's going to be an electric bus service that will make several stops en route and will be able to drive to the city center, which is Ortigia. The people who don't want to walk or are too far away, or for whatever reason, that is another interesting, plus that we go to the city mayor.
Thank you,
Exactly.
Andrea.
And Valeria, I think something else just with accommodation, because we are in this island with so much history and the buildings are quite old, it's not a modern city by any means. Many of the hotels actually have historical factors to them. And one of our questions in the chat is about elevators. So because these buildings are historical, the hotels, they are quite small. So they don't have the 250 rooms that we are typically used to. I think what the point we're trying to make is that this is an intimate island. We are in the smaller accommodations. Because of the historical value, they can't do things like elevators. So when we launch our website, we'll have all the details about the hotel options, which ones, what the amenities are, and these include accessibility information, about the different hotels that are available. So those details will be on our website. But I think just if you keep in mind that there's these beautiful alleyways with little stalls, little hidden coffee shops, little hidden destinations and venues to visit. And that's how we're going to enjoy our convention, is basically letting these locals know that we are all these tourist guides in the city and funneling through their little residences. But yes, with regards to accommodation, keep in mind it's historical buildings, some very special buildings, and this information will be shared in more detail on the convention website.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. This is absolutely correct. So for each hotel in the website, we will have all the details listed. So you will see them, how the hotels will be. You will have the pictures and all the facilities, and you will be free to choose also if you prefer to have a little bit more distant or closer to the venue, or if you prefer to be more in the city. But mainly what we have done in the selection of the hotels, we selected together with the also with the local association of the hotels that was cooperating with us. It's cooperating with us. We have chosen also hotels that have elevators that are accessible. So we are sure that each guest will find the right place, and nevertheless we are here to help you, to assist you. So if you need, I repeat it because it's really important, if you need any assistance or if you have doubts, just ask and we will be willing to help. We will be happy to help you. So now we are moving to the economical part. So we show you the fees. What we have estimated for the, as we said, there will be 150 early bird fees discounted. As you can see here, we have divided the fees per categories. We have the WFTGA member, the WFTGA non-member, the delegate and accompanying persons category for the early convention fee, for the early bird fee, and for the regular fee. And then for the pre-tour, we will have the single occupancy or the twin or double occupancy, which is of course more convenient. And also for the delegates, we have the possibility to choose between single occupancy or twin or double occupancy, and the same for the post tour, single occupancy or twin or double occupancy. So the fees you are seeing now, the convention fees are including the meet and greet at the airport. It means that we will have a desk at the airport, so you can always refer there to have information if you need. And please check the website, because there you will have all the information you need, and also our newsletters. So our suggestion is to arrive already well prepared, but then we will meet and greet you at the airport. Then you will have the congressional kits and documents, the early morning leisure activities, the workshop and lectures, field workshops, 3 convention tours, 1 regional tour that will be in the amazing city of Noto, 4 lunches, 3 dinners, coffee and tea breaks. So it means that once you will have paid the convention fee, nearly everything will be included, except the room nights. But this is where we have been working hardly, and it was explained also from the bidding process that you will pay directly at the hotel, but making the booking and the reservation via our website while registering. So it means that the rates will be dedicated to our participants. So then,
Valeria, if I can just interrupt. So some people are saying the slide is very small. So not to worry, everybody. What we will do is we will share the presentation with our members afterwards. There will be a link on the next newsletter as well. All the information will be in the next newsletters, and then of course on the convention website. So you will receive all this information again in various formats. And of course you can go and rewatch the recording on YouTube. So don't worry if you can't see everything on the slide. We will share it in further detail with you with the newsletter and on email. Thanks,
yes,
Valeria.
Thanks, Alushca. as well as for the pre and post convention tour, and also for the delegates, everything will be included. The difference between the conference fees and the pre and post convention tour is that in the pre and post convention tours, also the hotels are included in the pre and post convention tours, because there it was more convenient to keep the group together. And this is why we included in the package, otherwise would have been too complex. We have in the package for pre and post convention tours also the room nights included. I don't know if you have more questions.
I think we will follow with questions a little later. There's nothing else in the chat. I think we can move on to the next slide, which outlines what the pre and post include. So it includes the accommodation, the meals, and so forth.
And the transfers also.
Great. Then let's move on and share some of the activities. Next slide, Constanza.
Can I just pop in for a second?
Okay, this is the, sorry, Andrea, to interrupt you. This is the address I was referring to. It's convention 2024 at WFTGA.org. So that's the address where you can always refer and to write if you have special requests or any doubts. Please, Andrea.
No. I was just saying that when it comes to the description, to the illustration of whatever we will be seeing during the pre-tour, post-tour, that is when we will introduce our wonderful local guide, who is Elisa. So no, carry on with what you're saying. I just wanted to.
We have a video before, and then I leave the floor to Elisa. So thank you, and we are excited to host you.
Okay, then give me 2 seconds because the video was not playing. 1 moment.
Okay, in the meantime, I've seen a question. Maybe I can jump in.
What are we showing next? I see Constantia's steering screen. Okay, we're going to see a video. Great. And then we will speak about the delegates program. Perfect.
Hi everybody, my name is Nicoleta and I am behind the organization of the convention, and I am the one who will answer the emails and I will deal with the registration of this conference. So for any kind of question or worries or information you want, please email us and we are very glad to help you and find together the best solution. Thank you.
Yeah, Nicoletta is great, and I love the purple color of her hair. In Sicily, I might dye my hair purple.
Hi, everybody. Thank you.
Valeria, do you want to answer the question on the visas?
Yes, I saw the question on the visas. Yes, of course, we will provide the guest with the invitation letters with a lot of pleasure. And yeah, if you need any particular assistance, but in Italy in general, it's not so difficult to get visas to come.
Right, so let's move on to the next presenter. Thank you, Valeria. I think we're moving on, Andrea, to the next.
Yes, I was just about to introduce Elisa, unless there are questions from participants and they want to know a little bit more about the program. Otherwise, I would just leave the floor to Elisa. Elisa is a guide from Siracusa. You know, she's a registered guide in Siracusa. And she will just highlight some of the sites we are going to visit during the main convention, which is basically Ortigia, and pre and post tour. I can't see, no, I can see you, still see you.
Can you see me? Hello, can you hear me?
I can also hear you, fine.
All right, great. So, hi everyone, I'm Elisa Ottaviano, a tourist guide from Syracuse. Some of you might already know me because I took part to the hybrid convention of last year in Madrid, if you remember. I was there to present Siracusa and support its bid for hosting the next WFTGA Convention of 2024. We won, so we still thank you very much. We did it, and now I'm here once again to talk about Siracusa, Sicily's incredible beauty. You know that I love it, and its inestimable cultural heritage. We are more than glad to welcome you all, colleagues, delegates, accompanying persons to our marvelous island, and we offer a very rich and interesting program, that's for sure. So a program of field workshops, seminars, keynote lectures, tailored activities, as well as amazing excursions. So WFTGA Siracusa 2024 will be for sure a unique way for all participants to experience Sicily by enjoying its deepest soul, whilst networking with international experts and professionals in their tourist guiding field. And even more than that, believe me this. Okay, but now let's go deeper into the convention program. So you know that the program consists of a pre-tour, and then we will have the proper convention week, and then we'll have a post-tour. We have already talked about some excursions. Valeria was very kind to describe what is foreseen during the 3 sections basically of this convention. So now I'm here to tell you much more about our treasures. So I can see the first slide. So Sicily is the largest island in the Mediterranean. You already know it. Okay, so you know that during the pre-tour convention, we planned for you excursions to Mount Etna. Okay, this is still Siracusa. Do we have a slide about Mount Etna? All right, perfect. Now we go on Mount Etna. Perfect. Okay, so we have planned excursions to Mount Etna and then Taormina as well as Catania. I will come back to this topic in a few minutes. And then during the convention week, we will focus our attention on Syracuse and its beautiful province. So we will visit all the, we'll see all the important sites that Syracuse offers, as well as Noto, the surroundings, and so on. And then during the post-tour, the excursions will include other sites in Sicily. So, for instance, you will have the opportunity to visit Selinunte, Segesta, and then Palermo at the very end of the tour, Ragusa and Modica, and so on. So, but now we focus our attention on the Catania area. So, I was talking about Mount Etna. We come back to the slide of Mount Etna, if you don't mind. Okay.
Yeah, we have a video of Mount Etna, I think.
Do we have a video? That's great.
Yes, let's play the video.
Fantastic. Do you want me to talk or it's already with the sound?
We will see.
Okay, what a surprise.
Constanze, we hear no sound, but okay, we will stop the screen sharing because it lags a little bit and I will jump in. One moment. perhaps I can explain a little bit, because exactly that was what we have done during the site visit.
It's too loud. It's too loud. We can't hear you.
Okay.
I think, Constanza, can you switch it off, switch your video off, please? And then we can try it from our side.
Can I talk?
Yes, Lisa, go ahead.
Sure. And I have the video here.
Okay, by the way, so you have watched this beautiful video of Mount Etna. Keep that in mind. Mount Etna is one of Sicily's greatest natural attractions, as well as the most active volcano in Europe. With its over 10,000 feet, that means 3,350 meters. It is an iconic site, you can tell. It's located on the eastern coast of the island. And then we were talking about Catania, the second.
Sorry, Elisa, can I quickly come in about Mount Etna? I think it's important to mention that when we do Mount Etna on the pre-tour, there will be two options. There is the action option and the gentle option. And for those who are into the action side of things, the hiking, and as you can see on the picture there, it's quite rough terrain. It's 4x4s to get there. It's a long, windy road. So those are more for the activity-driven participants, those who are able to walk on the rough terrain and are wanting to hike, because part of the experience to Mount Etna is a hike into the caves.
Sure.
So for those who don't want such activity or are unable to do such activity, I think the gentle walk is something that they would then participate in. And that's a little bit calmer. You still get to see Mount Etna, but the terrain is more acceptable for a gentle walker. So there will be those two options on the pre-tour. So don't worry if you're not activity driven and you see these pictures, not to worry, there is a gentle walk option for you. And that's also scenic and will take you to Mount Etna.
Yeah, don't forget that there's also a cable car that takes you up to the top of the volcano. You will be guided by local experts, so don't worry. You will enjoy this amazing experience. Okay, so we were talking about the two options. Thank you, Alushca, to have been so precise and kind. All right, so I was talking about Catania now. I was starting talking about it. So Catania is the second largest city in Sicily. This is not the slide of Catania, but no problem. So we will find it, or if not, no problem. So Catania is, do you have a video as well? Wow.
Yes, not really.
So many surprises.
We have a video of Catania, but we have a video we have done in one of the amazing, beautiful towns next to Catania, which we will visit during the pre-tour, and it's Taormina.
Taormina, yes, sure. The pearl of the Ionian Sea. It's a very exclusive.
Siamo qua in Sicilia, esattamente a Taormina.
We are here in Sicily, we are in Taormina.
La perla del Mediterraneo.
The pearl of the Mediterranean Sea.
E dietro di me c'è l'Etna.
And our back there's Mount Etna.
il più grande vulcano d'Europa.
The highest volcano of Europe. And look at the colors.
E sotto l'Etna c'è Naxos.
And down at the bottom there's Naxos, the Sicilian Naxos.
La prima colonia greca
the very
di
first
Sicilia.
Greek colony of Sicily.
E questa e questa è Taormina.
And this is Taormina, he says. Now, ciao, because this
Ciao a tutti,
right,
ciao.
This place is too beautiful to keep on talking, right? Ciao.
A presto.
This is a very funny video. Thank you, Sebastian. So Taormina is definitely a place that you must visit. It's a must. You can tell the pearl of the Ionian Sea. So you saw the video and also the landscape of Taormina. It is located on the coast between Catania and Messina on the eastern side of Sicily, on the top of a hill 200 meters above sea level. It is one of Sicily's most exclusive places, as I was saying. Not only, Sicily's places, but also Italy's places, I will say. This is for sure. And then we talk about Catania. I can see, yes, there is a picture on the right side. You see Mount Etna, and then at the basis of the great volcano, you can see this big city of Catania. Catania is famous for its airport. Don't forget that Catania Airport, Valeria was talking about, is the busiest airport in Sicily. Catania is a World Heritage City. It offers a lot in terms of attractions, sightseeing, and so on. It's also a place where you can experience the local food, which is delicious. It's also the heart of the, let's say, industry, and also a commercial place, definitely important for the economy of the island. And now we can change slide, and we can talk about the, okay, so basically the tour, which is arranged also in Palazzo La Creda. This is a slide of Palazzo La Creda and Ferla. Palazzo La Creda is another World Heritage town, but it's located in the province of Siracusa. You see a nice Baroque mansion, one of the most important in this town, that was founded in the 7th century before Christ. It was a sub-colony of Syracuse. So the town was destroyed by the 1693 earthquake, like Catania was, like many cities in the southeastern corner of Sicily were. And then it was rebuilt in the early 18th century in the predominant architectural style of that age, late Baroque. Palazzo La Creda also offers a very interesting archaeological site. So that's definitely another interesting excursion that you can enjoy during the pre-tour. And then on the other side of the slide, so the biggest picture is that representing the mansion in Palazzo La Creda. On the other side of the slide, on the right side, we see instead a nice picture of the main church in Ferla, which is another small town located in the province of Syracuse that deserves a visit, you can tell. Okay, but now we talk about the convention week. That is,
no.
First of all, we have.
Sorry, Elisa.
No problem.
Elisa.
We follow.
We had been there during the site inspection, and one of the things we thought when we talked with local guides and how an association like WFTGA can help the local guides, we found out it would be good to make a lot of videos for two reasons. One, for promoting the convention, but also videos which you can immediately use for Facebook, for Instagram, whatever. That's why we have made a lot of 1-minute clips for the convention, but also that the local guides can use. And one of the local guides brought us there to Pantalica, and we did a video. So is it allowed to show the video?
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
This is Pantalica, the biggest necropolis in Europe. I will tell you much more after the video.
So this is Pantalica, which had been listed as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2005 because of its different interest in archaeology, in geology, in environment. Look at the environment with the canyons, which had been carved for creating these funerary areas, tombs, where they buried people, 5,000 tombs in 5 different places. So Bronze Age, from the Bronze Age to the present, these places were never ever abandoned. So come to Sicily and come to see Pantalica.
So the video was fabulous. You saw the amazing landscape. So the archaeological site, which is, in my opinion, unique. I was saying that the necropolis of Pantalica is the biggest in Europe. And a colleague of mine, Carmina, told you about the over 5,000 tombs that you can find there, starting from prehistory, or actually dating back to prehistory, and the latest ones are those dating back to the Byzantine age, more or less. So it's a place that deserves for sure a visit if you feel fit, because of course it's a place where you need to hike. But that could be another kind of interesting excursion for you. Alushca, yes. You would like to add something? Yes. I know you.
I think that's a very important point for everyone to note, that is also one of those activities where we will be doing 2 sides to it. There will be one for the active group and there will be one for the gentle group, because not everybody will be able to do and go and see and experience the Pantalica. It's also very specific terrain. So we will be doing 2 things. So again, not to worry for those who perhaps are not as active, and there will be something special organized for you in Catania with the local guide in Catania, and for those who want to go and see. So again, we're keeping in mind that we have two different kinds of participants, and a lot of thought is being given into this. Thanks, Elisa.
Yes. Thank you, Alushca. Thank you for your support. All right, this is a nice slide that displays one of the churches of Ferla. We were mentioning it. It's, let's say, the way to get to Pantalica from Syracuse. You will stop first in Ferla, and from Ferla you will reach Pantalica, which is like hidden inland. Now, yes, thank you for coming back to Ferla. I was saying that Ferla is a German little town built around a medieval castle. It was destroyed by the 1693 earthquake, and the city was later rebuilt farther north from the original medieval settlement. All right, we go on with the next slide. We have a lot of slides to talk about. Okay, yes, the convention. Okay, so here we are. So you can see that for the convention week, we selected 2 main venues. So the seminars, workshops, some of them at least, and the lectures will take place in the amazing municipal theater, the so-called Teatro Comunale, a 19th century theater, as you can see, in neoclassical style, a very, very elegant building that has been recently restored and reopened to public. So that
and
will
Elisa, may I once again jump in, because we have a video. Some of your colleagues is inviting us into the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And the best was, she was so happy to do that video.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I am Michela Ceccarini. I am the secretary of ANGT, and I am in the main venue of the WFTGA Convention at the Opera Theatre of Siracusa, a typical theatre in the 19th century style, typical Italian theater. And this is it, waiting for you. Come join us.
Okay, so you have heard much more. That will be the amazing venue, one of the two amazing venues for your convention, next one of 2024. And yes, you see down below the picture of Palazzo Vermexio, which is our city hall located on the main square, the Cathedral Square. My favorite square, one of the most beautiful squares in Sicily, let me say, in Italy. So it's definitely stunning because some of the most prestigious and impressive buildings are grouped on that very stunning square. The city center, it's on the Ortigia Island. You see the picture of Ortigia on the right. Yes, this is the island, the historical center of Syracuse, the old city, the place where the ancient colony of the Corinthians was founded a long time ago in 734 or 733 BC. The city expanded then onto the mainland so that other 4 quarters or sections developed, 5 including that corresponding to Ortigia. So you see the Maniace Castle in this picture. That will be the place where the gala dinner will take place. It's a fort built at the age of Frederick II in the first half of the 13th century. It was built there on the extreme tip of the island in order to control the access to the Grand Port, the Grand Harbor, one of the 2 natural ports of the city. The castle survived destructions, earthquakes, fires. It's very well preserved, even if it's empty inside. So the age of Frederick.
Elisa,
see, we have a video.
We have to talk a little bit about the gala dinner. Sorry when I interrupt you, because
sure.
you know our participants, they like to dress their hair and come in the beautiful dresses and with high heels and so on. And I think you did a video about how the gala dinner can be in January in Siracusa.
Folks, be prepared. The gala dinner will take place in a special place, a fort dating back to the first half of the 13th century. Such an authentic place. You will experience the best dinner in your life. Don't miss the dinner with us.
I think we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun in Sicily during the inspection.
I think a good tip for the ladies would be wear your sneakers and put your heels in your handbag. And when you get to the gala dinner, do a quick wardrobe change on your feet. And then you will be ready for the gala dinner. Because it's also a little bit, the terrain's a little bit uneven. And we want you to walk around the outside of the castle before you go inside. Just so you can appreciate the view and the tip, because you'll be at the very tip of the island. And then you can do your quick wardrobe change at the start of the gala dinner. And I think, Sebastian, you wanted to give them a tip on the hairdressing situation as well.
Just don't dress your hair. Just do it like me. Yeah, just in the back a little bit, and then you can immediately have perfect hair.
Wow. Fashionable.
No, but it was really windy. Have a scarf or something with you around your head, but I think we also will be prepared if it will be raining on the day, that there are taxis or a shuttle bus going there. So we have all that in mind, but just be prepared. It is not a convention like we had it in the past. It's really a convention with a lot of experience, I would say.
And fresh air.
Yeah, yes. Fresh air.
Thanks, Elisa.
Oh, you're welcome. So just a few words about the Jewish bath that you can see in this slide. It's another site that you might visit and you will do during the Convention week. So the Jewish bath is one of the largest and one of the oldest Jewish baths in Europe. Okay, it was accidentally discovered in the 1980s during the restoration works of a private building that became a 3-star hotel. Accidentally, workers at work found out that something was underneath the building that they were restoring. What a great discovery. The mikveh, which is the Jewish way to name it, the Jewish bath, dates back to the Byzantine age, probably 7th century AD. It's underground. There are many steps to go down and visit it, 56 in total. If you suffer from claustrophobia, don't go there. But if you don't, I recommend to go and visit that place.
I think also, Elisa, it's important to mention that the Jewish baths is actually one of the accommodation options. So there's a lovely guest house at the top. The lady who discovered the baths actually discovered it while doing this guest house. So that's one of the accommodation options for those who are interested in that history. A beautiful little boutique hotel. But yes, to go down to the Jewish baths, we did that. It's very steep, quite slippery, but very special as well.
Absolutely. The name of the hotel is Residence alla Giudecca, just in case you're interested in staying in that hotel during the convention. Okay, let's go on. I follow the slides, otherwise I get lost. Do we have any videos of the Jewish bath? No videos? This is
the food, Elisa, the food
scene. Gastronomy is extremely important for locals, for everyone. Oh, I can recognize these faces, right? I remember that very funny moment when you were enjoying our cannoli, our delicacies, the cannoli filled with ricotta cheese and yes, pistachio crumbs. They were wonderful, the best. So these are pictures of the latomies, okay, ancient stone quarries where limestone was extracted and used for building. We are in the archaeological park of Syracuse, one of the highlights of our marvelous city. Don't miss the visit of the archaeological park. The park includes, we'll come back to the previous slide if you don't mind. We'll talk about the puppet show later. See, Costanza. So I was saying that in the archaeological...
I once again can jump in with a video when you say we should talk about that here, no problem.
I'm sorry, I need to talk about the archaeological park. Come on. Okay, I went through the video, and while you were looking for it,
let's talk about the catacombs.
We are in the St. John's Church. You see the front facade, the Norman one of the church. You see the inside. It's roofless, but despite this church is still active as a church. We have a crypt underneath, which is a very, very old place of worship. But now, we go down, we'll visit the famous catacombs. Let's go.
This is another site, the famous St. John's Catacombs. So we saw the church built above the catacombs themselves. So the St. John's Catacombs are the only fully explored ones in Syracuse open to public, and they date back to the 4th century AD. Then there's a crypt underneath the church where we went down, if you remember, and we saw the frescoes. Some of them are very well kept, and the so-called St. Paul's altar, where St. Paul was supposed to talk to the population of Syracuse, because St. Paul came to Syracuse to spread the gospel in the 1st century AD. But this is another story. So it's definitely an important place of worship for Christian Catholics.
I think, Elisa, so everybody watching knows, so the catacombs would be one of the little tours within the main convention program. So what we're featuring now are just little tasters of what will be part of the main convention program. But don't give too much away, Lisa. We want them to learn more when they come to Sicily. So give them just the overview and the taster.
All right.
And then we'll give them the snippets of the videos and the images. And
Can I just pop in for a second?
More.
Can I just pop in for a second? Because I remember that when we visited the catacombs of St. John, not too far from there was a delicious place for cannoli. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, no, you're
no. So you can visit the catacombs and then have a delicious taste of I think they're the best cannoli in Siracusa, or at least that's what I was told. So don't go on a diet before you travel to Siracusa, because you will put on weight.
For sure.
Definitely. It was so amazing. And please be prepared. You have to drink each day at least 6 to 7 coffees, espresso. Oh, that was amazing. Everywhere we got espresso. But I want to go into the chat because we have one question from Joe Steinbeck from the United States. Hello, Joe. And he asked, how will the weather will be during that time? Because in all the videos we had jackets and it was cold, freezing. Can you explain that? There was a difference between locals and between tourists, because for us tourists it was so hot and warm, we had no jackets, and the locals, it is so freezing cold. So perhaps, Elisa, you can talk a little bit about the weather conditions, the temperature and all that.
Yes, with different points of view. I remind you that the convention is taking place during the winter time, so to us that will be winter, okay? So that means that you should wear some cold jackets and be prepared. But you never know, because consider that Syracuse is a very, very sunny city. So when the sun shines, the temperature is very pleasant. It might be windy indeed, but yeah, it's not that bad. For foreigners, especially for those coming from the north of Europe, so our climate during the winter time is still like that of the summertime, right? What do you think, Sebastian? You come from Austria, so you could answer this question for sure. You are not cold at all.
No,
there are layers.
We had been sitting outside even in the beginning of the night. It was warm. But you'll never know. Be prepared for something like 10 degrees Celsius. But up to 20 degrees Celsius, I would say. And perhaps it can be winter during the pre and post tour. The Etna was much colder when we had been there up at the Etna. Yeah, so I think everybody will be prepared. We are tourist guides. We always wear the right clothes.
Yes, anyway, the average temperatures should be between 8 and 18 degrees. I don't even think 20 degrees, it's too much, but it depends.
I think let's do a quick time check. We still need to get onto the post tour. Yes. So Constantia, if we can have the presentation back, we just need to keep an eye on the time, because we have our social hour coming up, and I'm sure everyone's eager for that as well. So let's go. I think the puppets were next, Elisa.
Yes.
I remember we went to the puppets. So the puppets are part of one of the excursion/field workshops that is part of the main convention. So just give us a quick taster, but not too much, a quick taster of the puppets. And I think, Constanza, you can share that image so everyone can see what we were talking about. I think Constanza ran away.
Okay, anyway.
No, Costanza, sorry, can I jump in? Costanza is here. The only thing is that a little bit slow with the screen.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
That's why
Okay.
sometimes it seems she's muted, but she's always there.
Great.
Just
Okay.
connection is a bit slow.
Okay, no problem. So now, I was saying that we have also a very small puppet theater where nice performances take place. The famous puppet shows, they normally last like 40 or 50 minutes, and they are in Sicilian. I remind you that Sicilian is another language. It is totally different from standard Italian. For Northern Italians, it is quite impossible to understand us when we use our local language. So we are bilingual. We speak both Italian and Sicilian. You see in this nice picture, Alushca, hello, you're there. And the nice girl who is responsible for the museum, where you can see a wide range of puppets, the big ones, the small ones, still handmade, designed, also properly made and painted. So it's a great tradition which is still kept and maintained in Syracuse. We have also the laboratory where such works of art are still made every day. So it takes ages to make a big puppet. It's not easy at all. And the most sophisticated ones might cost a fortune. You can tell. Do we have any videos? Sebastian, I'm looking at you. Okay, no.
No.
Let's move on then. Okay, so and then we talk about the post-tour convention, so the post-convention tour, sorry. So what is in program? The visit of Piazza Marina and also Agrigento in the afternoon. So the morning tour will be that in Piazza Marina, which is a town of Roman origin. The town is definitely famous for the Roman villa, what it's astonishing mosaics. The Roman villa that was built between the 1st and the 3rd century AD, but above the ruins of the pre-existing villa, a bigger one, or yes, larger one was built in the 4th century AD, or the pre-existing one was basically enlarged. And what is very well preserved are the amazing mosaics I was talking about. They are unique. So I think that it's a place that everybody must visit once in life. It's located in the middle of the island. It takes like 2 hours to get there from Syracuse, but it's definitely a place that deserves a visit. And then in the afternoon, the tour includes also the visit of Agrigento. I mean, from Piazza Marina, you will move to Agrigento, which is, let's see if we have a slide of Agrigento, which is definitely famous for the Valley of the Temple. No way to see something. Oh, a video maybe.
Yeah, we have a video once again.
Okay.
Sure.
I am Valeria from Symposia. We're organizing a wonderful post tour going to the western part of Sicily, touching Palermo, Agrigento, passing by Ragusa, and Modica will be on now, so don't miss it.
But that's a video of Modica. So in fact, the first day will be in the post-tour, will be the day of the excursion to Ragusa and Modica. Modica and Ragusa are two beautiful UNESCO World Heritage towns located in the southeastern corner of Sicily. They got this important nomination in 2002 because of their amazing architectural heritage. I was saying that the two of them are Baroque towns. But Modica is also famous for the delicious chocolate that you have tasted. I don't know if you have videos or pictures, the Modica chocolate, which is totally different from the regular one that you can buy everywhere, since it has a very grainy texture, and this is due to the way it is processed. So the sugar doesn't melt, and when you have it in your mouth, you can feel the sugar crystals which are not melted. So that will be for sure a nice experience, that of the chocolate tasting in Modica, while experiencing also the dramatic landscape of both Ragusa and Modica. And oh, this is a slide of Agrigento. Here we are, the Valley of the Temple. You see this stunning Greek temple still standing. You find sometimes more in Sicily than in other, Mediterranean countries, in my opinion, in terms of the Greek ruins. So the Valley of the Temple is another World Heritage Site, you can tell. It's outside of Agrigento, but also Agrigento itself is a very interesting town to visit. So that would be part of the excursion, including in the morning Piazza Marina and Agrigento in the afternoon. Okay, so that's the second day of the post tour. And then the third day will be that dedicated to Selinunte and Segesta. So consider that you will visit Selinunte in the morning, which is the largest archaeological site in Europe. Consider also its beautiful location, okay, sitting on a high plain overlooking the sea. And then in the afternoon, you will go and visit Segesta, which is a very well preserved archaeological site, maybe the most not the most, sorry, the best preserved archaeological site in Europe, and definitely one of the biggest. Even the location of Segesta is stunning. The Greeks chose the best places where to build important temples or also monuments like theaters and so on. So the background is absolutely dramatic. You see the ruins of this important temple with very massive columns still standing. It's a miracle that we have so much in Sicily, so much left. And then you will get closer to Palermo. The very last day of the post-tour is the one dedicated to Palermo. Palermo is the regional capital. Palermo is one of the most interesting cities in the world. Let me say that. It is a mix, okay, of different cultures in its architecture, in its architectural heritage. You can read the history of Sicily. So it offers buildings dating back to the Norman age, to the Arab age. It's a very multicultural city. So Palermo deserves at least 1 week. But yes, the best at the end. No, it's not the best, but one of the most beautiful and interesting cities in Sicily for sure, and in the world, as I was saying. So Palermo, that will be the end. And then, if I'm not wrong, in the afternoon, you will visit also Monreale, which is outside of Palermo. Monreale is famous for its Duomo with the best mosaics ever in a church, in my opinion. And then we were talking about other mosaics, but the ones I was mentioning were the ones of the Roman villa in Piazza Armerina. Don't get confused. I know that I have talked about many treasures in Sicily, but this is what Sicily offers to visitors. This is it. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Elisa. Thank you. And everyone will meet you in next January in Sicily, correct? Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. We are looking forward to meeting you in Syracuse. So we wait for you. Welcome to Sicily. Even if you want to come earlier, no problem, but please be present at the convention.
Right. Thank you.
Thank
Elisa.
you. I thank you very much.
Also, as you mentioned, a reminder, the ending is in Palermo. And as Valeria explained in the beginning and showed us the nice map, the distance from Palermo to Catania where you need to arrive and where the ending of the post tour will be. So keep that in mind. I think, Sebastian, that's it from that side of things. And we can move on with
we have
program.
brought in one important person, the lady behind the newsletter designs, the social media activities, and the website. This is Constanza, live from Rome, and she will speak a little bit about the website.
Hi everyone. So Sebastian introduced me. I'm Constanza, and I think that I have two important news for you today. The first one is that we have online the website for WFTGA 2024. So if you want to go online, I will be putting the link on the chat. There you will be able to see everything that we be saying on this presentation that my colleagues said to you during this last hour. And in here you will be able to see something about the program, our schedule, and everything regarding fees, what's included, and so on. In there you also have contacts. So if you want to call us to have information on write to us, you can find there our email address, and Nicoletta will be answering you. And the second thing is that we have already, if you want to support, you can see on the presentation. And if you register to the newsletter, you will be receiving every news, every update regarding the conference. So everything we will have to say, to show pictures, new videos, etc., we will be sharing them on there for sure. In the future, we'll be opening new social media and sharing everything via the official social media of WFTGA. So I also invite you to follow us everywhere you can, so you will be always up to date. In fact, I don't have much more to say, but if you have questions, I will be here also to answer.
Thank you, Constanza. I just want to use this opportunity to explain the hybrid aspect a little bit, because you are breaking up terribly. So let's mute Constanza, please, Sebastian. And we're also running out of time. So the registrations, as we mentioned, will open on the 31st of March, as well as the website. At the moment, the website is not completed and still has some important information that needs to be included. So when that is ready, we will launch it with the registrations. For now, though, we've shared in this presentation some of the important information, and this recording and presentation will be available on our YouTube channel. From the hybrid point of view, there will be a fee involved for the hybrid. Remember, hybrid costs us money as well and costs the convention money. So there are implications when it comes to a hybrid. There's a very big technical element. So there will be a fee involved. The hybrid aspect, however, is not the entire convention. It will include the opening ceremony, the welcome ceremony, the closing ceremony, and then, of course, the important meetings for our delegates, the General Assembly, and the meeting of the trainers. All other aspects of the convention will not be hybrid. And so this is important to note. So the association business will be shared on hybrid, and only the association business, and then the welcoming and closing fee. But as for the actual attending the convention as a hybrid, there will be a fee involved, and that fee will be mentioned on the website when the registrations open. But I think we're running out of time now, so we can wrap up the convention 2024, and we thank all our volunteers and the host committee and the PCO, Valeria. We thank all of you for your hard work, and we look forward to the coming months. And to all our participants and our members, just keep your eye on the social media, on our social media, on the newsletters, And we will be directing you in the coming weeks as to exactly more detailed information and the deadlines that we mentioned. So thank you very much, Andrea, Valeria, Elisa, Michaela, Nicoletta, all of you, Constanza, and we will see you soon. And we need to move on with our virtual conference program. So thank you, everybody.
Ciao to everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And looking forward to seeing you in January 2024.
Correct.
Thank
and
you.
Participants, please don't leave us. We still have a few extra things on our program today. We have 1 more hour. I just need to do a little bit more on Convention 2026. Then I'll hand over to our colleague Viola, our expo member, who will do our closure, and then we will do our social hour. So please stay with us, and Sebastian will explain more about the social hour. But just on Convention 2026, I've had some queries from our members and our member associations about the next convention. So yes, that is a bidding program or a bidding process, and there is a bidding document. The bidding document will be available mid-March. I've put the email in the chat, so if you are interested to bid, please email us to access the bidding document. Ros summed it up nicely as to how the process works and how important stakeholders are. So it's very important that you as an association are in good standing with us, the WFTGA, and that you do work with a professional conference organizer, a destination management company, that you work closely with the stakeholders throughout the bidding process. So we do encourage you to please consider bidding and hosting the 2026 convention. There will be, obviously, part of the bidding process is then that the final bidding countries will go through to Italy in January to do their final bid and to be voted by the delegates. And again, if we have an overwhelming response, which is always great, we will look at the elimination round. Elimination round is so important because, as we said, there's a lot of resources and budget involved. So we really need to consider that as well. Over the next 9 months leading up to the convention, please remember there will be a lot of information sessions virtually. We will be doing for first-time attendees to a convention. We will be doing a recap again for the convention 2024. There will be information sessions for those interested in bidding and those who are taking part in the bidding process. There will be information sessions for delegates, new delegates, existing delegates. So you will come to the convention in January 2024 well informed and ready, because we'll be doing a lot of advanced planning, and basically by the time you arrive in Italy, everything needs to be secure and ready to go. So please keep an eye on the social media and the newsletters, and we will be sharing all of that with you as well. But for now, let me hand over to Viola, and she will be doing our wrap up, and then Sebastian will explain how the social hour will work. Viola.
Thank you very much, Alushka, and thank you very much, dear colleagues in Sicily, Elisa, Andrea, Valeria, and your entire team. It was so nice putting actually faces and videos to the names we already know. So yes, I will definitely looking at the website. We'll be signing up for the newsletter. So I have it firsthand in my inbox, and also watch the social media as far as the convention is concerned. And really looking forward to the first big convention again, where we all will have the chance to hopefully, meet again face to face and spend time together. So yes, as Alushka said, wrap up of our mini virtual conference, which started yesterday on International Tourist Guide Day. And today, really the big reveal, the curtain open for our municipal theater show in Sicily on that beautiful historic island. I mean, I can't wait to immerse myself into the locals. By the way, actually, Viola, my name is Italian, but that's where it stops. The rest is probably more Northern European, but here, or Central European. So that's where we go. But wonderful, wonderful impressions we already got. Yeah, so yesterday, International Tourist Guide Day, Now, a lot of you already celebrated, and again, thanks for sending the crossover, or coming to us live, or sending videos, or indeed sending input to our social media. And really, the social media was on fire. And I know a lot of you are still celebrating in the days and maybe weeks to come. So we are stretching it out again. So remember, news@wftga.org for any of your photographs, videos, wishes, reports you have on your very own celebration of the International Tourist Guide Day. Yes, it was really good to have Alushca and yesterday Manu as well, who are in the Philippines, where the Tourist Guide Federation of the many associations in the Philippines had their big conference as well. But technology, the hardware, but with Sebastian, who's still, I think, next to me on screen here, making it all happen, gave us these wonderful 2 days. Yeah, so wrapping up, the theme for our mini conference was rethinking tourism and regenerating our profession, our tourist guide profession. And there couldn't be a better time than now. It really was a wake-up call as well. You know, Professor Higgins again reminded us sustainable tourism, and we as tourist guide need to be involved. Professor Harris then also reminded us, it's really about authenticity and make it un-iconic, really let our visitors share into the lives we as part of the local community are leading. So a lot of, I think, really wake-up calls. For some of us, it is the start of the season, so I will certainly take a lot of food for thought and to the next season. Talking about food, if I still have time, Sebastian, I don't know if you're still making up time for you to get the organization done in the background. Our virtual information sessions, or VIS, will continue. That is, again, an opportunity to meet online for specific topics. Our last one was in January, where Alushca and Radek, one of our international trainers, talked about business skills. From now on, James, actually, my Expo colleague, who will also be leading one of the breakout rooms, he has taken on the organization and delivery of the virtual information sessions, the second half. And we have lined up, so culinary tours, that's what came to my mind when I thought said food for thought. Culinary tours, then we have one on tourism for all, focus on sign language. And there's 3 others, maybe back to business skills again. But anyway, watch our newsletters, the Guidelines International, that are coming out at the end of each month, and social media again as well. And of course, those of you who are VIS subscribers to our virtual information sessions, you will get advance notice of those 1.5-hour sessions. And then, of course, you will be familiar with the T-charts Alushca, our president, led over the last couple of months, where the next hour, our social hour, our informal charts, now is more or less something like the T-charts. And since we were quite a lot online, we thought we will break out into breakout rooms. Latest information I have is, yes, 4 breakout rooms, which will be led by our Expo members. So here, Sebastian is nodding. So we will have one, and Sebastian will give us the kind of concrete details. But I can tell you that James Saunders, our Expo member, will be leading one of the breakout rooms. I think James has planned to talk about why are we looking forward, or you are looking forward going to Italy. So leading on from the convention. That's just a discussion or conversation starter. Of course, you never know where those social hours take us. Then Marika Donato, another one of my Expo colleagues, will be talking about member engagement and how to really keep in touch with each other. And then Sebastian, also co-opted Expo member, is going to give us memories of past WFTGA conventions. I'm sure dancing will be involved in that, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, and then I will be leading one breakout room as well for our trainers. If you want to come along for a chat, and my topic is why WFTGA trainers should come to Italy. Now that sounds a bit strong, but it's really embracing the trainer aspect, the opportunity for trainers to come together, of course, do our business. As Alushca said, association business is really quite important for our convention as well, not only the social part. And we, as the training division, all our trainers will also have a chance to come together, do our business, but of course, just have those wonderful chats over cannoli and cappuccino. I prefer cappuccino to espresso. And with that, I think over to Sebastian, if you are ready to open the virtual doors to the breakout rooms, which will last for about an hour. And then are we going to come back, Sebastian, or can we just leave whenever we fancy?
So I think for everybody, we now switch to the to another Zoom meeting just from the technique. So we switch to, I sent you the link in the chat. When you click on the chat, the webinar will immediately close and a new Zoom meeting will open where we'll meet together, and then there we'll have the breakout rooms. And I think we will do it, yes, half an hour, 40 minutes breakout rooms. Then we come together in the other meeting where we then have a short wrap-up or whatever. So now this meeting will close in 5 minutes. Don't forget to click on the link or copy the link in the chat to get to the other Zoom meeting.
Great, thanks a lot, Sebastian. So see you there. I'm gonna go. Bye.